Wow! What's happening, everybody? It's your boy. Yes, sir. We back. We back. Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette is now on the air and we are rolling. I want to welcome everybody to the show. My name is Stanley Doucette. I am he. I am the podcast host, podcast host, and I just want to welcome you guys to Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. Yes, we are live. We are live and we rolling. We are rolling. Listen, guys, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the outpouring of support. Season 3 have been off the charts. I want to thank you. And I want to continue to thank you guys for supporting us, for following us, to hitting the like button, the subscribe button, forwarding it to people, telling people about the show. Just thank you. I just want to sincerely say thank you. For those that are logging in for the first time, that I'm just asking you guys that if you would go to all of our social media channels for Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette, if you will go to, oh, by the way, this is our commercials. I'm doing it a little bit different today. I'm doing our commercials early. So if you will go to Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, just go there and like, subscribe, share with your communities, with your family, your friends. You can also go to letstalkwithstanleydoucette.com, and there you can get all of season 1, all of season 2, all of season 3, all the way up until today. And I just want to thank you guys again for going there. Again, I'm just asking you guys, I'm really trying to build my YouTube following. If you guys would do me a tremendous favor, if you can go to Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette, and if you feel it on your heart, subscribe, like, share, hit the like button. And every time we drop some new information in there, it'll pop up on your screen and you'll see exactly what it is that we're doing. I am humbled by each of you for doing that. And for those that find it on your heart, just go ahead and do it now. Just click on the YouTube and let me rephrase that. Do it after the show. Immediately after the show, go to YouTube and hit that like button, share, subscribe, all of those things on the YouTube, and just trying to build our following there. And I really would appreciate it if you guys did that. If you find it in your heart to do it, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Now, let's get into it. Listen, guys, we have a jam-packed show. It's amazing. It's wonderful. I'm gonna be a tad bit vulnerable today. I cannot wait to get into the discussion. This has been one of my challenging subjects as of today. So I just wanted to share, but because we're in Black History Month, I wanted to share just a little quick Black History Month, little history, just a little history. But I don't want to do it with the ones Black history that everybody know. The normal people that we're discussing all across the world. Let's talk about some people that we may not know about, or we may not have discovered, or shared, or talked about. Let's go and talk about those individuals because they are Black history as well. So today, I want to talk about a lady by the name of Mae C. Jemison. She is an American engineer, physician, and a former NASA astronaut. Ms. Jemison, she became the first Black woman to travel into space when she served as mission specialist aboard the space shuttle Endeavour in 1992. 1992. Ms. Jemison joined NASA as an astronaut corps in 1987. I'll say corps in 1987, and she was selected to serve for the STS-47 mission, during which the Endeavour orbited the Earth for nearly 8 days on September the 12th to September the 20th, 1992. I wanted to take some moment to shout her out, congratulate her, her family, and all that she's done with NASA and all of the individuals that she has continuously inspired through what is engineering or being part of the space program. So I just wanted to congratulate her, thank her for all that she's contributed to American history throughout the years, and hopefully her legacy continues to live on, and that we no longer begin to look at it as just Black history, but we look at it as American history. So again, congratulations to Ms. Jemison. thank you so very much for all that you've contributed and all the things that you do for NASA and so many people around the world. So I want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now that we've finished our Black History Month, we've finished our commercials. Now let's get into our topic. Listen, I had to calm myself down because the topic I'm going to talk about today is simply living unapologetically. Living unapologetically. This was a challenge for your boy. This truly was a challenge for your boy. So, like I said, today I'm just going to rap to you. I'm just going to converse with you. I'm excited about the topic, but I'm going to give you some steps or some things that I thought about when we're talking about living unapologetically. It's difficult. Let's start where we are. Let's do the things that we say we're going to do. If you're looking at me on YouTube, all my wires are all tangled up. So I'm just trying to get my own self together. But we're talking about living unapologetically. We're literally talking about living unapologetically. And what does that mean? Family, when I share with you guys, this was a challenging topic for me. It was truly a challenging topic for me. This was not one of those ones where it would just easily come, spit off the top of your head, spit off the top of your tongue. You got it. You're doing your thing. You're excited. No, ma'am. No, sir. This was a challenge. If you guys have something to take notes with, I'm asking you, please, to take notes with. This may help you. It may not help you. Some people are already living unapologetically themselves, and others may be having a little challenge with it. But we want to make sure we go through this, and you guys, at least the things that I came up with and talked about and thought about, I think you guys will get a big understanding on it, and hopefully it helps you tremendously. I want to shout out my people in Europe. You guys consistently hold me down. I'm loving it. You guys consistently hold me down. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out to Canada as well. I was looking at the numbers the other day. We have a big European following and a huge Canadian following, of course, in America. But those are the top three that stood out to me. But not, I won't say coming in last, but definitely pushing hard is our Latin American and South American crew. So I'm waving at you guys, sending y'all shots out. I don't know if it's day, night, middle of the morning, or middle of the daytime where you are, but I just want to say thank you again for listening in and hanging out with your boy on Mondays at 2 o'clock. Thank you so much, Eastern time, 2 o'clock Eastern time. So thank you guys so much. If you're listening to this again on recording or on Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette on Spotify or Apple Music or Android or any of those things, hello to you guys and shout you out. Let's get into this topic though. Let's get into this topic, living unapologetically. So number one, I'm taking a deep breath because I'm really sincere about these. I'm really sincere. So number one, choose you. So we're talking about living unapologetically. So the first thing I believe is in choosing you. Put yourself first. Make your decisions daily for yourself, not to meet anyone else's needs or wants. Let me say that again. Make your decisions daily for yourself, not to meet anyone else's needs or wants. See, I can hear people saying, well, what about the job? You know, I got to fulfill this. Now, yeah, I get the job, but I'm talking about living unapologetically yourself. There are some things that you do each and every day for other people that they just don't appreciate. But today we're making that decision not to meet anyone else's needs, but we're talking about meeting our own needs. It is so easy to get caught up with all of the demands of other people. Y'all know this is just easy to get caught up with that. And at the same time, just simply lose yourself. You know, I know people, I know people that are in sports, you know, trying to do certain things and get caught up and forget how to hit, how to even swing a baseball bat. And they've been doing it all their lives, and all of a sudden they get caught up doing it a different way. No, be you. Choose yourself. There are other people that's in relationships, and it's great to be in a relationships, and you want to meet the needs of the relationship, but lose yourself in that relationship, right? No, choose you, because the best of you will help the relationship. So let's just choose you. and stop pleasing anyone else by yourself. This is really difficult for many people. When you stop trying to please other people, it's just difficult. And because it's simply like this, it's deeply ingrained. That's just the easiest way of playing. It's deeply ingrained for us to want other people to like us. Now, some people don't have that issue. Some people don't have that challenge about being liked or being accepted. They don't have that. They could give a care less if you like them or not. But then there are people like myself. Let me be vulnerable with you guys. There are days where I just want somebody to accept me, right? Let me raise my hand. That's not saying I'm a bad guy or somebody else that say that, but that's saying some days you just want somebody to accept you, not always getting beat up, not always getting punched, not always getting kicked in the back or in the ribs or something, right? Some days you just want that. But here's what we're doing moving forward. Let's talk. What we're doing, family, is we're living unapologetically, and we're living ourselves. We're being the best version of ourselves. So number one simply is choose you. Don't choose their thoughts. Don't choose his thoughts. Don't choose her thoughts. Don't choose their thoughts. No, choose you. Number two, be true to yourself. Stop apologizing and own it. Woo! Be true to yourself. Don't apologize for being you. You know, a lot of times you'll be you and you'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. No, be you. Own it. You are your own person. You are your own person. You know, if you think about it, you came into the world by yourself, and some people are like, well, I had a twin, or, you know, I have an identical twin. Well, the doctor even held you in your hand by yourself at one point, right? You may have had a identical twin, or a twin that came 30 seconds after you, 20 seconds, a minute after you, whatever it may be, but you still are an individual. So be true to you. If you like to go to bed at 8 o'clock every night, guess what? Go to bed at 8 o'clock every night. Don't apologize for going to bed every night at 8 o'clock. Be true to yourself. This is what I want to do. I'm going to go to bed at 8 o'clock every night. You own that, because that's who you are. You're living an unapologetic life. Now, I can hear people just like, that's selfish. Well, what about this one or that one? Yeah, you know, I have a question for those people that want to be selfish and ask those questions. Wouldn't it be a lot easier for your friend, your boy, your girl, your sister, your brother, your relative, your mom, your dad, your husband, your wife, or whoever, to be authentically themselves, to be true to themselves, so you'll know who they are, so you can actually love them, and they don't have any masks on? And that's plural. That's not just one mask, but have multitude of masks on. Think about that and how powerful that is. That's what we're talking about. That's what I'm referring to when we talk about be true to yourself. You're not saying you're not going to love and care for others, but you're saying is you're going to put yourself first. You're going to be here and be true to you. You're not apologizing anymore because you want to go to bed at 8 o'clock every night because it helps you in the morning or whatever those things may be. You're owning who you are. And so you can absolutely live unapologetically. Number three, it's not going to be a long podcast, but I got to hit you on the head with some of them. Operate from your authentic core. Operate from your authentic core. Number three is operate from your authentic core. Let me put an asterisk here. We talk about operating from our authentic core, but some of us are going to have to do some research on what is our authentic core. We have to know what that is. We have to get away from the minutia. We have to get away from, like I said earlier, the red, I would have said the red flags. That was another podcast. Sorry, guys. I had a flashback. Shout out to Kim too, by the way. What's up, Kim? So one of the things that we have to do is take those masks off. We have to be true to ourselves. We also have to know our authentic self. So get through the minutia, fight through all of the waters and the barriers, and get to know your authentic core. Once you begin to understand and know your authentic core, then you can operate from that standpoint. You can be who you are and do the things that you need to do because you're operating at your authentic core and you're being true to who you are. All right. Number 4, get to know yourself at a deeper level. Now, similar to going into your authentic core, but also some things that you may not have acknowledged before. It may have been years before you acknowledge certain things, right? So let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. I remember there are some times where I was just like, there are things just I didn't really knew I really knew I liked certain things, but I didn't really dig into it, right? I just kind of like, well, as time went on, I just started to dig into certain things. I went through some challenges and just started to dig in some things, and I started to realize certain things that I like. And I'm gonna give you guys one. This is a simple one, but as you guys know, I'm a Virgo, and I love a lot of nature things, right? And one of the things that is very simple that I absolutely love is just going to the park. Where I stay at, they have some immaculate parks. I mean, with water and I mean, just all of the bells and whistles. And you can walk and you can sit on the grass, or you can sit on a bench, or you can sit on a swing and just feel that energy. And it's just remarkable, right? That I had to get to know myself at a deeper level to even know I really do like parks. See, I took the mask off. I took off the minutia and got rid of all of those things and got true to who I am at my core. And it's like, this is great. And now I'm like, man, I want to do this more. I want to do this more because it gives me energy. It gives me strength. It gives me all kind of things that I just absolutely want to do as we're living unapologetically. We don't want to do other things, but we want to make sure that we're doing some things in a powerful way, a magnificent way, an amazing way, that we're doing stuff to take it to the next level, right? Because we want to live unapologetically ourselves. We want to do those things so we can take it to the next step, and the next step for within ourselves. So when now I realize that I like to, the parks and all of those things. I'm not going to say the park that I'm in, because then y'all going to try to come steal my little spot. Nope, I'm not telling you. But I go to the park and I can spend hours out there and forget where I'm at. I mean, literally forget where I'm at. And it gives me an opportunity to just bring it down, to flesh out negativity, to get one with myself, to get one with my creator, to be able to be in a space that's amazing, to be able to talk to myself in ways to understand certain things. I know y'all think I'm crazy, but it's okay. To be able to talk through situations with myself, to be able to respond to things, it just bring me to a certain level. But I didn't know that until I began to understand myself at a much deeper level. And now that it began to reveal and open up things to me that nourishes me, that pours into my own self, that I'm able to walk and do things that I need to do. Listen, I could go to the park by myself. No one have to be there, and I am absolutely fine. But here's the other thing. Talking about going to the park and knowing yourself at a deeper level. Sometimes you may say, oh, I want so-and-so to come, you want this one and that one to come and all of these people. No, no, ma'am, no, sir. I don't want people to come. You have to be in a certain energy level with me to come to the park with me. If not, we don't need to go. We're not going. We're not going, because you're not going to interrupt that peace. Again, that's understanding yourself and getting to know yourself at a much deeper level. See, that goes into the next one about setting healthy and firm boundaries, right? Yeah. When you're getting healthy, you're setting healthy and firm boundaries, because even if you're going to the park, you may want, I don't know, your cousin or your brother to go with you, or your sister to go with you, right? But then when you get there, you know the space you're in. You might have one of your favorite books and you really need to dig into this book, or you really need some time to meditate and to kind of be in that space to kind of clear some things out. Well, if you just began to invite anybody to the park with you, then that begins to take away things. If you begin to move people in that sacred space of yours, then that began to take and allow people into your boundaries. No, set those boundaries. Be firm with the boundaries that you set. And then you're able to take and do the things, because remember, you're living unapologetically, and there are going to be some people that's going to be upset, well, why I can't go to the park with you? Because I don't want you to come to the park with me, right? Because you're in your space. And for those people that truly love you, they're not going to bother you about going to the park or how long you've been at the park. They're not going to question you about being at the park. They're not. And then I'm just using a park, but I know this is helping to people. I'm using a park, but it could be other things, right? When people come to the park, or you say, you know what, okay, come on to the park with me, and then you get to the park and they're bothering you. Oh my God, I'm walking on, I don't know, grass. Oh my God, there's some little dirt here. Oh my, and you're walking in tree or under trees, and it's, oh my God, the mosquitoes or the this or the that. And listen, get the hell away from me and go back to the car, or just take the car and I'll walk. Whatever it is, because now they're interrupting your peace. If you go into a park and you see a grass snake, on the pave or in the grass, that doesn't mean the whole park is full of snakes or something like that. Please take your mind off of that and enjoy the energy that you're around. But now that you've allowed that person, you say, you know what, I'm allowing you to come. And then they immediately share with you, this is why I don't want people to come to the park with me, because they'll do this or they'll do that. And then they come with these attitudes, and it's like, oh, come on now. I'm here at peace, and you're now asking me, what time are we leaving? There is no time. There is no time. I might be here for the next 7 hours. There is no time. Now, remember, we're talking about setting those healthy and firm boundaries. The reason I'm bringing this up here is because even when you talk about knowing yourself at a deeper level, and you found out that you like nature and like parks, but you also have to set those boundaries. Now, I'm saying nature and parks. It might be the skating rink. It might be going to a concert. It might be going, I don't know, watch sporting events. Set those firm boundaries. You may not want people to come with you, because that's your peace. That's choosing you. That's wanting to do and be, to be true to yourself. Stop apologizing for it, right? You're owning it. You're living your authentic self. You're finding yourself at a deeper level. Now we've set those boundaries because everybody can't come. Everybody cannot come. And because everybody can't come, you set those beautiful, healthy, and firm boundaries. And if that doesn't work, change it. So number 6 is changing what doesn't work for you. You may start off in saying, I like, I don't know, something, going out to eat every Thursday. But then you realize you was just doing that. That was a mask you put up, and you were just doing that, but you really don't like to go out and eat on Thursdays because you want to watch the Cosby Show. I'm telling my age, but you want to watch the Cosby Show. You want to watch a different world, right? Hey, watch a different world and watch Cosby Show. But here's the thing. It didn't work the way you were doing it before. So all you did was simply change it. You just simply changed what doesn't work for you. There's something called growth. Sometimes you grow, and most people, hopefully you're growing each and every day. Well, you're growing, and you have grown. Now that you have grown, now that you're growing, right? Some things may not work for you anymore. Back in the day when I was at Southern, and every football game, we would have, a nice cocktail, a large, big cocktail with no rocks and no chaser. Hey, y'all will catch that tomorrow. But, you got to serve. Then it was like, you know what? I've grown out of that. I'm grown to another place in that space. So it stopped working for me. So I'm doing what works for me. Others may say, they used to be in a club every night. And then all of a sudden they stop going to the club, and people think something is wrong with them. Nothing is wrong. We just outgrown that, or it just stopped working for us. So now we're choosing what worked for us. All right. Listen, I'm gonna talk to my church folks. Church folk, holla at your boy. Church folk, Some of us grew up in the church, right? And I'm talking about change what doesn't work for you. And you volunteered. You volunteered at big ministry, little ministries. You volunteered at big conferences, small conferences. You volunteered every time the doors of the church opened. You was there volunteering. And then all of a sudden you say, you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore. It's not saying that you don't love the Lord anymore. It's not saying that you gave and you quit the church. It's not, none of that. It's not working for you anymore. So now you choose what works for you. You might say, you know what? I'm only now going to do Sunday service because that's what works for me. Don't allow, number one, haters to enter into your mind. Don't allow any negative thoughts to enter in your mind. And don't allow any of the negative foolishness that may come up spiritually or demonically to try to cast you away and move you out of something that doesn't work for you anymore. If it doesn't work for you, stand on it. If it doesn't work for you anymore, stand on it. You know, I just had a conversation with my sister and we just celebrated her birthday. And I remember she telling me something. Um, um, she said, listen, she said, there's a lot of things people go through, all of those other things, but don't negate or don't avoid or don't overlook or don't bypass all of these signs that happen in your life, whether it's on your job, whether it's in your career, whether it's on a sporting side, whether it's in commercials or entertainment, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in your spiritual life. She was just saying, don't, that's God's way of sharing you and showing with you certain things. Don't avoid that. Don't look past that. Acknowledge and understand what that means and then see what the next step is, because when it doesn't work for you any longer, it doesn't work for you any longer. So if you have something that came up when you're talking about the church, right? And you was there every day, the church, the doors of the church open, and then now you're only doing it on Sunday because it doesn't work. You paid attention to those fig leaves. You paid attention to the things and signs and all of those things. You paid attention. And now you have adjusted accordingly because now it works for you, right? Stop letting people tell you need to do this and do that. No, you don't. So let's move on that. All right. So number 7. Ooh, this is something I had to work on too. Work on the fear of being seen. Work on the fear of being rejected. Work on the fear of being judged. Stop caring about what others think. So when you talk about work on being seen, when you begin to live your unapologetic life yourself, there are people that's going to be upset with you because you're no longer doing something for them. Let me just be honest with you. So you're going to be seen in certain ways. That's not true, but you're still going to be seen. All of a sudden, you have your life back in your hand. Now people are wondering why you're not doing certain stuff. When it was never a benefit for you, it was always a benefit for somebody else. But now they're upset because you're no longer, I don't know, sitting in the sofa on the right side. Now you're sitting on the sofa on the left side. And now they all up in arms because you're sitting on the sofa on the left side. Listen, you're going to be seen and people are going to try to just strike things in you, but don't be fearful. Remember, you're living your unapologetic life. You're being you. You have chose you, and that's what you're doing. Being rejected. You may, I ain't gonna go too deep in this one because this one could get real deep. You're talking about being rejected, right? You're rejected because you're standing firm on something. And let me give you guys a story. I think I told you guys this story before, but I'm gonna tell you guys the story again. So in my former life, when I was a police officer, we were in a specialized unit. And I remember when I first got there, we worked literally Monday through Friday, and it was, I say, from 6 a.m. to 12 midnight. No, we didn't all work that time, but it was broken up in shifts. And we covered from 6 a.m., I think it was to 12 midnight or 1 a.m. We covered that whole thing. All right, great. No problem. And I remember we only worked Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday we had off. So hey, we doing our thing. We excited. Let's make this thing happen. Well, there are some people that were in the unit that was like, you know what? It's cool. And then they wanted a little more, right? And what I mean by a little more, they wanted a little bit more time off. And then they were like, hey, you think we can do that? And that was rejected, not by the actual commander of that unit, but it was rejected at a higher level. No problem. And then the community was asking, hey, can you guys work Saturday at least from 8 to 12 to kind of offshoot some of this trivial crime of shoplifting and car break-ins and all of those things. So it basically came down, it was like, sure, we're going to work from, just 8 to 12, 4 hours. It's overtime and you can choose if you want to work, all of those other things. Well, people were upset because that came down from the top down. And I remember they having a letter going around. We want our, such and such did this and we don't agree with it. We're writing a letter and we're standing up for it. And, we want our weekends back and we want our regular hours back and we don't want to work the weekends. And that letter literally came around. It came around and everybody signed it, but yep, your boy, yours truly. It was only I, the only one that did not sign that particular letter, right? 2-3 weeks later, they got rid of the commander, they got rid of somebody else, and it just became a mess, right? But let me tell you guys what happened, because I didn't sign the letter what they wanted me to do. I was rejected at every angle. People didn't want to, if you will, partner with me anymore. You have a partner. I had one partner that was like, yep, I'm still gonna ride with you. But outside of that, people didn't want to partner. People didn't want to do things with me because they felt I turned my back on them. Well, no, I chose me. I didn't want that. I did not want that. You have everything you want in a specialized unit, and now you're going to argue because you may have to come in for 2 hours on a Saturday. Really? By the time you get comfortable, it's time to go home. So I rejected that. I didn't sign a letter. I literally didn't sign a letter, and I was rejected from then on, right? Listen, it was hard. It was hard. Being rejected is hard. Let's not get it confused. Nobody don't want to be rejected, but it was hard. But it was something that I felt I had to do because I chose me. A lot of other incidents, I know people that are listening, the same thing. You choose you. You chose you. You're doing those things. And people are still looking at you crazy and rejecting you and all those things. And here's the other one. And then being judged, right? I was judged because I decided not to sign this. I'm being judged. I was called all kind of names, this, and woo. I know other people out there are being judged for something they haven't even done. But now people have gotten their head and now they have their own stories, their own thoughts, their own whatevers. And now because they're in all of those spaces, guess what's going on? Yep, we being rejected. Guess what's going on? We're being judged. We're talking about being crucified because of something we didn't want to do with them. Yeah, all of those things go on each and every day. So when you talk about living unapologetically, you be strong and be solid on that. Don't worry about what others say because you only have your own life to live. If you chose you don't want, something, if you choose you don't want to do something, then don't do it. Just don't do it. Choose yourself to be happy, be joyous, be full of life, be adventurous, have so many different things going on. But make sure you're choosing yourself authentically. Just choose yourself authentically. Again, let me address this, and I keep hearing this in my head. But people are, start talking about, well, what about this and what about that? Listen, that person, whoever it is, have to still be authentically themselves before they can be the best whatever for you. They still have to be the best version of themselves for you. But if you don't allow them to be that, you're always not going to get 100% of that person. And because you don't get 100% of that person, you'll never know how great that person is. So you always get a hedge or a slight or a poke or a slide. You won't get the full them because now they're starting to resent you. So you have to first choose yourself. You have to allow them to choose yourself. And then if that's your business partner, then when they come to the table, they're authentically themselves. If that's your prayer partner, when they come to the table, then you're being your authentic selves. If you are that person and you're coaching a team and you have to get yourself together and do whatever it is that you're doing so you can be authentically yourself, do that, because then your assistant coaches or your head coach or whatever it may be, when they have themselves together and being authentically themselves, then now everybody come to the table 100%, and there's no lack there. There's no weak chain or weak link in that system, right? Everybody's coming to the table. For those that are walking down the aisle, be 100% authentically yourselves, because now when you come to the table, you're 100% yourself. He or she is 100% of themselves, and now you know who that person is. I can go on with a myriad of other ones, but just be authentically you. When you're talking about living unapologetically you, that means you're being 100% true to yourself. Be true to you, not anyone else, but be true to you. Why you're being true to you? Because it's going to bring you joy. Why you being true to you? You don't have to put on. You don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to try to socialize in fields that you hate. Be authentically you. If you don't want to go to the basketball game, don't go to the game. If you don't want to go to the soccer game, don't go to the soccer game. If you don't feel like going to church that Sunday, don't go to church that Sunday. But just be authentically you. Just be you. Be you. If you want to grow your hair out, like I kind of grew my hair out a little bit on, y'all see me on YouTube, I kind of grew my hair out a little bit. But if you want to be authentically you and just grow your hair out a little bit, let your hair grow out a little bit. That's what you want to do. If you want to grow a beard, grow a beard. Listen, whatever it is, live unapologetically and be authentically you. And that way, when you do that, you don't have to worry about if anybody don't understand what you're saying, because you're being a true you. There's no mask, there's no guessing, there's no walls. You're being authentically you. All right. So listen, family, I told you this wasn't going to be a long podcast today, but I wanted to get that out because I just begin to feel we have to continue to push to be authentically ourselves, because so many things come to distract us, to put us in another category, to do other things, but don't allow us to be truly authentically ourselves. Nothing is more great than your true self. Nothing. And then I promise you, you being your true self, you're going to begin to attract other people that's being true to themselves as well. All right. So listen, guys, I appreciate you guys so very much. We're going to conclude this actual podcast, but I want to share with you guys just this thing one more time. Please go to my social medias. Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Please go there and like, join, subscribe, and share it with your family, friends. When you go to YouTube, it's LET''S. It's Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. The reason I'm saying that, for whatever reason, YouTube got, anyway, that's the whole thing. But when you go there, just go to LET''S. Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. I'm there. You'll see some of the older podcasts. You see some of the crazy faces I made and those other things. And I can't wait to see you guys again next week for another powerful podcast of Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. I'll see you guys on the beaches of the world. Thank you guys for joining. Don't forget, go to YouTube right now. Help me add those followers. And we'll see you guys next week on Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. See you guys on the beaches of the world. Blessings. Have a great week. See you.